What's good, chat? I ain't even late. 1 to 10. How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm back. Yo, what's good? What's good? Chat? 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 What's good, ladies and gentlemen? I hath returned once more, yet again, once more, yet again, once more again. Blue hoodie. I repeat, blue hoodie, yo, Goblin Girl, Nurse, Physics, Sharky, GJ, Grape, Jack, Loop, Rain, Stinky, yo, Crazy with the 10 gifted, W, Crazy with the 10 gifted, thank you, Crazy, W, Crazy, JD, Real, Dynamite, Moon, Christy, AK, Widowmaker, Ralph, Colborn, appreciate y'all, W subbers, man. And whoever said that's a black hoodie, no, it's not. It's blue. Thank you. Okay. Uh-oh. Why can't I go back? Oh, why can't I go back? There we go. Chat, how's everybody's day going on a scale of 1 to 10? Let me hear it, huh? How we doing? Huh? Friday, chat. Chat, we done made it to another Friday. You know what I mean? Another one. Another one. You know. Yo, Tasty Tyler with the 10 gifted. Wow. W Tasty Tyler with the 10 gifted. I appreciate you, Tasty Tyler. Shout out Tasty Tyler. Appreciate that. Thank you. What did I just see? I just saw a crazy chat. What was that? You lucky I missed it. Chat, what'd y'all do today, bro? Huh? Chat, what did y'all do today, man? Answer the question. Don't make me ask again. Go ahead and answer it. Went to work, go outside, cap. Self-made with the 5 gifted. Thank you, appreciate you. Work. I did school, work. Golly. Chat, what's better, school or work? We all know that answer. Yeah, that's true, Adam. Appreciate you, Adam. Thank you. Yeah, Will, Kyle. Appreciate you, Kyle, as well. Wait, what? My job wants me to start working overtime because we're short-staffed. Means less time watching you. I'm so sad I watch you daily. You're my favorite streamer. Will you tell them I said that ain't going to happen? You go to your boss and you say, I said that is not going to happen. Because it's not. Thank you for the 1,000 bits. You take them this clip. All right, I got you right here. You take them this clip. Hey, it has come to my attention that one of my viewers named AZ Arts has just informed me that overtime's about to kick in and they got to work overtime. And that means less time watching my stream. So this is a message to you, supervisor / boss. What you're going to do, and this ain't a request, this is a legitimate, this is what's going to happen. You're going to say, never mind, you don't have to work overtime and extra hours. You're going to stay on your regular shift. This isn't a request, this is I'm telling you what's going to happen. So, they better report back to me, Sunday or Monday, whenever, and tell me that this message was delivered and that you redacted the overtime. Thank you. That's going to work. Chad, you think that's going to work? Be honest. That's 100% going to work. I'm going to send this clip to them. Bet! I'm like, Chad, is that, you think that's a fireable offense right there? Did I just sell? I might have just sold, huh? GG. No, that's good. Yo, happy birthday, Fahad. Thank you. Happy birthday, Fahad. Appreciate that, Patton. Thank you. Appreciate that. Promotion. Chat. You got a message? Chat, anybody got a message I need to give your boss? Who got a message? I'll tell you. I'll tell him. What you want me to tell you, boss? I got you right here. I need a raise. Okay. Okay. A raise. Hey, boss of whatever company you're running, I got a viewer of mine that said they need a raise. And I'm here to tell you that if they don't get no raise, it's going to get real ugly. Okay, so what's going to happen is you're going to give them a raise and everybody's going to be happy. Because why don't you want to give them a raise? It ain't your money anyway, probably, unless you own the business. But if not, what you holding the money for? It ain't like it's your money you giving away. That's the company money. Who cares? Won't you just give them a raise? You just the boss. You get paid just like they do. So I don't understand why you holding the raise. It ain't like it's money coming out of your pocket. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and slide them $10 a year raise, okay? They make an extra $10 a year on top of what they already make. So if they're making $27 an hour, hey, guess what? That's $37 an hour. Is that too much to ask? No, it's not. Thank you. I just cooked. I just got fired. Oh, my bad. Oh, that's my fault. My bad. Chat, do you know what I saw today? Do you want to know what I saw? Do you want to know? I saw a picture of a Gooblagoon billboard. Somebody already said it before I said it. I saw a picture of a Gooblagoon billboard. I think the devs of the game made a Gooblagoon billboard. Can one of my mods link that real quick? There is a dadgum Gooblagoon billboard, like real life. I think the devs did it. Yo, by the way, chat, shout out to the devs of Waterpark Sim. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but every day that I get on Waterpark Sim, there's like something new almost every day that we get on the game. Like there's like, it may be small, but every day we get on, like yesterday, somebody took a dump in a pool. That wasn't a feature the day before yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, they actually cooking, bro. They are cooking with it. Yo, Hershey with the 5, thank you. Is that it? Hold on. Let me take a gander real quick. Lord have mercy. Dude, I seen this. This a real life. I seen a video of it too, of somebody driving by it. They went out and got a billboard, bruh. Dude, look. Bruh. Is that not crazy? Have you ever been injured at the Gooblagoon? We can help. Gooblagoonlawsuit.com. It's just a duck with glasses on. Like, what? Yo, Pancake. With the 50 gifted subs, Lord have mercy. Chat, give me some W's for Pancake. With the 50 gifted subs. Oh my goodness. What are you doing up there? Hey, I don't know. I just seen this today. I woke up and seen this today. And I seen a video of somebody driving by it and laughing. I'm like, yo, what is going on up in here? Yo, Lune Fallen, what'd you say? I'm in a VC with my friends every night, but I mute them and turn the stream on because priorities. See, you are a great person. You know that? You are a great person. Okay? You're a great person. Just so you know. Yo, happy 18th birthday, Kalisha. Chat tell Kalisha happy 18th birthday. Happy 18th birthday, Kalisha. Thank you. Best life advice. I'm gonna let you hear this from the best person that I know. I'm gonna let the pickle give you some life advice. You ready? Here you go. It's been a minute since we've had a good message from the pickle, right?
Believe in the magic within you. You're capable of amazing things.
That's beautiful. I'll give you another.
Every setback is a setup for a comeback.
Wow. That's beautiful. Another.
Why fit in when you were born to stand out like a delicious pickle?
Beautiful. Another.
Believe in the magic within you. You're capable of amazing things.
Beautiful. Another.
Seeds of effort you plant today will bloom into success tomorrow.
Beautiful. One more.
You're not just any pickle. You're the top of the jar.
Chat, give a round of applause to the pickle. W Pickle. Making everybody's day better every day. Okay? The pickle's a beautiful... See, chat? There goes the best person we know. There goes the best man we know. And even he's lost. You know what I mean? But he's still a great person. W Pickle. Yo, Hoof with the 5 gifted. Appreciate you, Hoof. Thank you. W Hoof. That is a crazy name. What on this planet Earth am I looking at? Thank you for the 5 gifted. Scooby-Doo with the 5 gifted as well. I mean, Lord have mercy. What are we doing? You know what? I do need to check the Gooblagoon website reviews. It's been a minute, huh? We need to see, because last time we was here yesterday. Not gonna lie, the reviews were better than they were last time. They were. Wow. I still can't believe, I gotta see the commercial again. I love this commercial. Chat, do y'all not like this commercial? I could watch this every day. I literally could see this every day right here. I could. Welcome to the Gooblagoon with the Slide Zone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Slide Zone. That's safe. It is what it is. You know what's absolutely crazy about Gooblagoon, though, or Waterpark Sim? We actually have never seen Dakota ever again since that day. It's like they actually killed off the character from the code of the game. Like, we've seen repeat customers over and over again, but we actually have never seen Dakota again. Never. It's like she's actually gone, bruh. Happened. Hot dog. Because everyone loves a good hot dog. That's so true. Right. That's so true. I'm gonna be about 5 of them tomorrow. Lemonade stand installed. Hold on, we gotta do some workarounds. Gooblagoon legal team. They might have covered their bases. This is beautiful. Hold up. This is such a beautiful commercial already. This is beautiful. People are kicking the door down, trying to get into the new and improved Gooblagoon. It's just beautiful. Man, I love it, dude. How could you not love that? Huh? I speak for everybody in here. Y'all already know I do that anyway. Like, every single person that's in here, I speak for you by default. Everybody loves that right there. Period. Period. Type 1 if I speak for you, because I do. Thank you. Hold on. Let me see. See, look, last time, dude, look at the 1-star reviews, chat. I mean, no 5-star. No 1-star. Yeah, 5-star. Look at the 5-star reviews. They're making a comeback. I know you may look at this right here, right? And you may be like, man, 2.8 out of 5 stars. That's horrible. But when you see the second best category is 5-star reviews, is that not a great thing? That's a great thing. Yo, I'm too easy with the 25 gifted subs. Lord have mercy. Give me some W's for I'm too easy with the 25 gifted subs. I appreciate that. Thank you. See what we got here. Guest reviews. What are guests? Wow. Okay, 2-star. From Daisy. Daisy from Mario? What? Yo, hold on. Hold on. Yo, Trav. Yo, YB Trav with 10,000 bits. That's a dev. Dev here. Glad you like the billboard. Thank you for all the love and being such a great sport. Would love to know what features you think we should add. I actually thought of one last night. I don't know if this is a thing in the game, but I ain't never heard it. It could be because I ain't never paid too much attention. But like every now and then, like when a guest goes in the bathroom, instead of just hearing a noise, like one of them just blows it up. Like it sounds crazy in there. Like you like say somebody like before they go to the bathroom, like, oh, my stomach hurts. And you can just hear them after they close the door just blowing it up with the most egregious noises you've ever heard. I think that would be funny. Chad, we got to think what other features should be in the game. We got a dev in here, bruh. What else would be funny? Dude, I had some ideas, bruh. Bro, I had whole families that come in. Oh, that's a disaster. A lazy river? That would be cool. I don't know if y'all could do that, but like a little lazy river that's like as long as the whole, like a whole section that you could put in that people could float like floaties down or something. Dude, I could think of stuff. I could have sworn I thought of something last night, but I forgot what it was now. A cemetery? Hey! Yo, Hoof Hearted with another 10 gifted. W Hoof Hearted with another 10 gifted. Thank you. Dude, I don't know. Hospitals? A wave pool? A sauna? Oh my goodness. Could you imagine a sauna? And you accidentally like lock somebody in there and they burn up to death? Yo. Yo. For sure though, I think somebody being able to blow up the bathroom like bad. That's a guarantee. That could be funny. Hot tubs? I mean, yeah. Yeah. Cops? Oh my goodness, I just thought of one. Make it to where your guest, I'm not saying all the time. Oh, hear me out for real on this one. This will be dope. Guests can get into fights with each other, and you gotta like break it up. And I'm talking like they'll pick up like a floaty or like a life preserver and like hit somebody, like for real, like guests getting into fights. I think that would be funny. Or like somebody push somebody off a slide or something, you gotta catch them doing it. Or like say somebody's at the top of a slide, they push them down it or something, or like on a diving board. That would be fire. A safety inspector. Yeah, a safety inspector that comes in like once every like 10 days and like stays at the park the whole shift and like sees how many injuries or like almost drownings happen. Yo, that's a good idea, bruh. Yeah, those are good ideas for like safety inspector. Dadgum, customers can get into fights. And then blowing up the bathroom. Yeah. Add ads into the game. That'd be funny too. Need to cut the maintenance from 3 hammers to only 2. I think I can upgrade that, Mom. I don't know. I think that's an upgrade that I can get next. But yeah, that's probably my fault, to be honest. But yeah, no, I feel you. Somebody just said a battle pass. You done lost. All right, let's see here. Halloween decorations. We walked by the other day seeing big new slides and thought, wow, that's cool. But we saw a lady floating in midair. as the owner was moving around some slides, and I thought, oh, they got some witchcraft going on. But it's close to Halloween, so maybe it was a decoration. Yeah, that was a decoration. A bazooka. Matter of fact, I just had another thing come to mind. A bazooka. A bazooka. Just put a bazooka in the game. My wife took my dog with the 5 gifted. What? Wait, what? Wait, Trav just sent another 1,000 bits. You cooked sauna next month. Toilet is genius. Clipping this will work on the ideas over the next few months. Yo, W devs, man. Bro, not gonna lie, they been killed. Dude, like I said, chat, every day I've gotten on this game, there's like something new almost. No joke. Like yesterday, somebody took a dump in the pool. Like I said, we ain't never seen that before. The next day, we waited 4 hours in line because the ticket guy, Kaiser, was taking breaks every 5 minutes. Well, Daisy, I will have you know that we have terminated Kaiser and we have an entirely new cashier. So can you redact your review, please? Oh my goodness, you know what else you could add? Actual brain-eating amoeba. Like, there's a percent chance, like there's a 1 in 1,000 chance that a customer gets a brain-eating amoeba. And they just like, and you'll be able to know it. Am I cooking, chat? Tell me I'm not cooking. Chat, am I cooking? Can you tell Grayson happy belated birthday and shout out to Harley Quinn and Ivy Rose? Yo, happy late birthday, Grayson. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's funny too, Marky Mark. That'd be cool as well, yeah. Hey, Case, what should I choose for pizza toppings tonight? Bananas, broccoli, or pickles? Don't judge me. Don't eat a pizza if that's your only options. What's wrong with you? Buddy, what? Buddy, excuse me? That's your only options that you got. You know what? No. You know what? Since you want to do that, get bananas on top of the pizza. That's what you gonna do. Bananas! Yo, I'm too easy with another 25 gifted again. Lord have mercy. Yo, W... I'm too easy with the 25 gifted. I appreciate that. I'm too easy for real. Thank you. W, I'm too easy for real. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Yeah, do bananas. Chat, y'all like bananas on pizza? Don't lie. Once we got in, I saw a cemetery in the corner, so I went to check it out. Saw it was a memorial to the lives lost there. Okay, whatever. It's almost Halloween, so I thought it was a joke. Nope. People were drowning left to right. Owner was running around confused on what to do. No, I'm never confused. I'm just working. And finally, he had a psychotic break. He was hitting everyone with a bat. The customers, employees, and he was just off the deep end. 2 out of 5 stars because the slides are cool. The park is just a lawsuit waiting to happen, so come visit if you want a payday. You're not welcome back to the Gooblagoon, Daisy. Okay, I just want to let you know that you're not welcome back to the Gooblagoon. But I what I will say is I appreciate you for not the 1 star, but the 2 star. Kimberly with the 5 gifted, thank you, Kimberly. Or KM Derby with the 5 gifted, thank you. 5-star review from Chrissy. I'm an organ recovery coordinator. Thanks to the way the park is managed, we have saved 15 lives through organ donation. You may think 5 lives were lost, but now those 5 people saved 15 lives. Business is so good, we're thinking of opening an organ transplant hospital next door. Thanks, Gooblagoon. Oh. Oh. Thanks for the 5-star review. Yo, I'm too easy with another 25 gifted again. Lord have mercy. W, I'm too easy with another 25 gifted. I appreciate that for real. Thank you, I'm too easy. Yo, Hand Cam with 1,000 bits. Hey, Case, can you shout out my 2 nieces, Anna and Kenna? Yo, what's good, Anna and Kenna or Kena? Hey, hope y'all having a good day. Thank you. Appreciate you, Hand Cam. Wait, what is that? This is a real life Deadliest water park. You should watch it for ideas. Wait, what? Excuse me?
Grammarly helps me get the best grades possible while depleting the least amount of hours
The world's deadliest theme park, the story of Action Park.
my week.
Between 1978 and
Wait, what? Wait, what?
1997, there was a theme park like no other. An infamous experiment that injured thousands, hospitalized hundreds, and killed half a dozen.
The most dangerous theme park of all
What?
time. The owner was like, I'm not going to hassle the kids with a bunch of rules. I'm just going to leave safety up to them.
Is this a meme? This is real?
Eugene Mulvihill's Action Park was a hugely popular and much-loved New Jersey attraction, remembered fondly for its experimental and thrilling rides, but also
I haven't seen anything too...
for ending
Oh my goodness, that is absolutely insane.
in bankruptcy, scandal, and tragedy.
A lot of people got hurt over there.
They
As
did?
you can see, it was like extreme sports. They nicknamed it Traction Park.
A slight alteration of its official slogan sums it up quite well. Action Park, where you're the center of the accident. In today's video, we're going to dive into the strange world of America's deadliest amusement park.
Well, not no more.
On the 26th of May 1978, businessman Eugene Mulvihill stood admiring
Yo,
the
mother with the 5, thank you.
creation he hoped would transform his business forever. Gene, as he was known, owned a company called Great American Recreation, which crucially operated a ski resort in the Vernon Valley and Great
This
Falls
is
ski-
unbelievable. What you mean, CaseOh past life? This is like what happened in game like 40 years ago or whatever.
areas of Vernon Township, New Jersey. Gene
I'm
really
too easy
wanted to
with
address
the
an
10
inevitable
again. Thank you. I'm
difficulty
too
of
easy
running a ski
again.
resort business. During the summer off-season, when the snow has long disappeared, your resort turns into little more than a regular grass hill, and as the snow goes, so does a significant majority of your business. Ski resorts had for some time been experimenting with opening summer attractions to make the land bring in revenue during this off-season, and Gene wanted to do the same. Following the example of other resorts, in
He copied
1976
me.
he installed a 2,700-foot alpine slide down one of the steeper trails, and by 1978 added 2 water slides
Oh
and a
my-
go-kart track. The result was a collection of attractions that became known as Vernon Valley Summer Park, which would open that May. This made it one of the first water parks in America, and over the following 2 decades would grow to 75 separate rides under
Why is there a pool called the Tsunami? Oh my goodness, this is insane. Yo, this is actually insane. This is the real layout, huh? Is this place still open?
its rebranded name Action Park. But as well as its massive size, Action Park was unique in one very particular way. As his son Andy Mulvihill put it, Gene didn't want to do the same old shit, where you just get strapped into something or it twirls around. He wanted to take the idea of skiing, which is exhilarating because you control the action, and transfer it into an amusement park. There's inherent risk in that, but that's what made it fun.
Oh my
This simple
goodness.
philosophy of putting the guest in control made the park hugely successful, but would also become its biggest controversy. Action Park's first ride was coincidentally one of its all-time most dangerous. The 2,700-foot sledding track was constructed out of a mixture of concrete, fiberglass, and asbestos. Patrons would
Asbestos!
slide down the winding track on a small sled using only a handbrake to slow their descent. Injuries were atrociously frequent as patrons were sent down without much prior warning of the high likelihood their sled could jump the tracks on tight corners if they failed to apply the required amount of braking or lean to distribute their weight properly. Owing to poor maintenance practices, the sled's braking system would really only offer two settings: extremely slow and a speed described by a former employee as death awaits. The result was patrons usually wearing only bathing suits and most definitely without any helmets or protection.
This has to be a joke. The employee said the speed was called Death Awaits in the surreal park. I'm taking that name. That's a great name. I'm using that on one of the slides.
Thrown off
Hey,
their
the green
sled,
slide. Hey, the green death
abrasions.
loop is forever now. We're straight up stealing this name. Death Awaits.
And broken limbs. Between 1984 and 1985, the slide alone was responsible for 14 fractures and 26 head injuries. In fact, it's reported that at the end of a busy day, staff would find certain sections of the slide coated in a reddish sheen of blood and shredded skin. Staff kept a magic potion of 70% alcohol and 10% iodine on hand to spray down severely carpet-burned patrons. An employee was ejected at such a high velocity that the resulting injury gouged the back of his legs and butt so badly that he needed 200 stitches. And finally, just to add insult to injury, because the Alpine slide travelled directly under the park's former ski lift, those riding would routinely get spat or urinated on from above.
This place makes the Gooblagoon look like a daycare. Yo, devs, I got an idea. Yo, I'm too easy with the 10 gifted. Yo, devs, we need a slide that's so big that you have to take a ski lift up to it. But the catch is customers can like straight up take dumps mid ski lift and it'll fall like on the other customers.
The slide was located at the Alpine Centre, one of the three main sections of Action Park, the other two being Motor World and Waterworld, which housed the vast majority of the park's rides. The nearby skateboard park was closed after only a single season due to inadequate build quality. The skating bowls were separated from each other by pavement, which in many cases did not match the height of the bowl edge, meaning boards would get stuck on the lip. A former employee commented it was responsible for so many injuries that we covered it up with dirt and pretended it never happened. And in fact, some of the rides were so dangerous they never even managed to open to the public at all. The Bailey Ball was
The what?!
Action. Essentially a large steel sphere with industrial roller
That
wheels.
looks like a dive bell! For an underwater welding mission 3,000 feet into the Pacific Ocean! What is this?!
All around the outside, creating what can only be described as a replica World War II era anti-submarine mine.
Yo, that's actually... Y'all ever play them games growing up? They got them big old mines in the water? That's exactly what that looks like!
Can only be described as a replica World War II era anti-submarine mine. The idea was a human rider would be secured inside and rolled downhill on a PVC pipe track. However, when the state inspector arrived to see the ball in action, the summer heat had expanded the piping, causing the ball, with a man inside it, to fly off the tracks, rolling down the steep slope uncontrolled and travelling straight through the parking lot across Route 94 and finally coming to rest in a swamp. It said that the inspector watched silently as the ball came to a rest before promptly leaving without saying a word. Management abandoned this masterpiece. After the first season, in 1978, Gene sought to expand his park, believing the best way to do this was, quote, by legalizing drunk driving, in a collection of attractions known as Motor World. The first ride of note here was the Grand Prix track, featuring 3/4 size Formula One races that could travel at over 50 miles per hour. If that wasn't concerning enough, the park operated an alcohol drinks bar only a few meters away.
They were letting people get drunk and then go on go-karts that traveled 50 miles an hour. Oh my goodness. This is the worst place I've ever seen in my life.
Drunk and often alcohol drinks bar only a few meters away. Patrons would ride these races drunk and often underage using a fake driver's license. One employee actually broke into the park in the middle of the night, stole a Lola Racer, and disabled its inbuilt speed limiter before taking it for a joyride down Route 94. Police reportedly pursued the employee at over 90 miles per hour for several miles.
Who was working here?
Similar to the Lola Racers were the super go-karts. Drivers were not required to present a license here, which would not be so concerning were it not for the fact that the inbuilt speed limiter could be disabled by wedging in a tennis ball, enabling patrons to fly around at speeds reaching 50 miles an hour. A particularly unique injury that would occur here is that because the carts ran on petrol engines, the fume inhalations would regularly make patrons sick, and sometimes the gas caps would fly off the carts as people drove along, splashing out the liquid fuel and hitting drivers further behind in a kind of Mario Kart style attack. The super speedboats suffered a very similar issue. A tamer attraction nearby called bumper boats took the idea of hitting cars into each other and then put that on water. The problem was not with the bumper boats ride itself, more that patrons would treat the fastest.
This cannot be real. That's what I'm. This actually real, right? This like dead. Y'all dead serious?
As bumper boats, smashing the flimsy boats into each other at excessive speeds. Anyone too tall would have to dangle their legs over the side, and you can imagine just how regularly this caused lower extremity fractures. The engine fumes also coated the lake water in a kind of oily sheen, burning and irritating guests unlucky enough to fall into the water after a high-speed collision. Petrol-induced delirium was the reward for anyone who managed to stay.
So you just sit. If you don't die on the boat, you get high from the fumes of the gas hitting you in the face.
And finally, another noteworthy attraction for Motor World was one of the park's most popular attractions called Battle Action Tanks, featuring little mobile tanks that fired tennis balls from a cannon. If you shot
that's a good idea. That can't. There's no way that's dangerous. It's just a tennis ball.
It would temporarily disable movement, and static cannons placed on the arena's perimeter also allowed guests standing outside to fire in. This particular attraction was one of the staff's least favorite to guard because of the high likelihood of getting pelted with tennis balls that would fire at over 90 miles an hour.
Never mind.
While trying to perform maintenance in the area. But finally, the most loved and most infamous section of rides were gathered into an area known as Waterworld. Undoubtedly the most dangerous, these were the rides that would ultimately lead to the tragic downfall of Action Park. Probably the single most.
What do you mean a tragic downfall? This place needed to be shut down. Oh my goodness, look at this! Look how unstable that platform looks. It looks like it's leaning over about to fall. There's like 80 people up here. I feel so much better about the Gooblagoon right now. I don't know if y'all feel the same way. I feel so much better about the Gooblagoon right now. Oh my goodness. Y'all can't say nothing about the Gooblagoon no more.
Of all these rides was the Cannonball Loop, a fully enclosed water slide with a unique, completely vertical loop at the end. You tend not to see these at water parks for the perhaps unsurprising reason that shooting people out of a vertical loop is not necessarily conducive to their survival. The ride itself was built kind of by the eyeball, using some nearby car factory workers who had recently been made redundant as labor. When the first test dummies went down, it was reported that one.
So they just picked up some random dudes that worked in a car factory, said, hey, y'all got some extra parts in here? Come slap them together for us real quick at the water park. We'll give you $50. Unbelievable. What about putting in water balloon launcher so you could hit the creeps and graffiti people and such? That would be a good idea, Mom. No joke. Yeah, like a water balloon launcher gun. That would actually go hard. No joke. That's a good idea right there. That's a great idea.
Its head. To convince real humans to go down, the park offered employees $100, and eventually Eugene's son Andy was the first person to do so, but in full hockey protective gear. This ride suffered from an inevitable problem of physics. If a human body was either too light or too heavy, they often wouldn't have the right momentum to safely clear the loop and would get stuck at the top, crashing down on either side. Nosebleeds and facial and back injuries were extremely common, so much so that the ride was only open for a single month before the state's advisory board forced it shut, considering it too dangerous. Some early riders were even coming back with lacerations to their bodies, and when the ride was closed to determine what caused this, teeth that had been knocked out of previous riders' mouths were now lodged in the foam-lined interior walls, slicing open the next riders as they passed through.
My goodness! People's teeth were getting knocked out from the slide and wedged in the wall, then the next person that came through would get cut by the person's tooth. You know how many diseases was going around? Did they make a movie off of this? This is unbelievable.
But the Cannonball Loop was by far from the only crazy installation. The Tarzan swing was a steel arch suspended from a cable over a spring-fed natural pool. Patrons waited in long lines for the chance to swing out and jump off into the water below. Because this spring was fed by mountain water, the temperature rarely exceeded 50 degrees, a fact most only came to appreciate as their bodies immediately went into hypothermic shock upon entering the water, where they would need immediate rescue after being unable to pull themselves back out. Another danger was if you held on for too long, you risked crashing into the concrete platform at the far side of the pool, something that broke many ankles and toes, but that's just a skill issue really. In fact, unsuspected danger was a prevalent theme of Waterworld.
Yo, I'm too easy with another 25 gifted again. Yo, W, I'm too easy with another 25 gifted again. Appreciate you, I'm too easy, for real. Thank you, W, I'm too easy. Thank you, seriously, I appreciate that.
Aquascoot, patrons would skim across a shallow pool of water only
Look at the sharp edges of this. What is this?
Deeper than a puddle in places, using a plastic sled in the same manner as skipping a stone over a lake. However, if you lean too far forward or back, the edge of the sled would bite into the water, catapulting the rider's head directly forward into the shallow puddle, resulting in serious injuries. Even if you avoided this, often the attendant would have already let the next rider down, slamming straight into the back of you. The collection of raft-based artificial whitewater rides were also notoriously dangerous.
Lord have
Rapids
mercy.
was built to look like a natural river, complete with jagged rocks,
Drip
and
with the
sharp
TNW,
overhangs
Drip.
that
Thank you,
fractured
Drip.
femurs, collarbones, and dislocated knees and
Appreciate
shoulders.
you, Drip,
One of
with
the
the
courses
10. Thank you,
featured
Drip.
a toilet bowl which flushed riders down into a dark tunnel. A tunnel lined with foam padding that would often tear away from the walls, narrowing the hole and causing human riders to clog the toilet. Attendants would then have to quickly turn off the water supply to stop those congested patrons from drowning. Surf Hill was another infamous attraction. Patrons would slide down a wet sloped surface on foam mats at high speed, landing in a very shallow puddle. The barriers between lanes were minimal and people frequently collided with each other on the way down
Yo,
or
if
at
you
the end.
didn't get injured or worse at a place like this, can you imagine the amount of fun it would be, though? Like, if you're one of the people that got to go do all this crazy stuff and not get injured, could you imagine how fun it would be, though? Oh, there is a movie about it back in 2018 called Action Point. Okay, bet. Appreciate you, Egghead. Yo, Guaman with the 5. Thank you.
The seventh lane was known as the backbreaker due to a special bump midway intended to allow jumps and splashdowns into a larger puddle. It also had a reputation for causing serious injury, but both employees and spectators much loved this ride for one very particular quirk. You see, Surf Hill was especially good at
backbreaker.
separating women from their bikini tops. Women would stand up at the end of the surf and, disorientated from hitting the plastic ridges at high speeds, wouldn't realize that they had emerged significantly less covered than they began the ride. A nearby snack bar was installed specifically to take advantage of this view.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe this. This is absolutely horrible. This might be the worst. This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
However, a single ride stood out from all the others, a ride so deadly it quickly became known by employees as the Grave Pool. The tidal wave pool opened
The employees are naming these places the Grave Pool, the Backbreaker, death awaits.
the start of Action Park's 1981 season. The pool was 100 feet wide and 250 feet long and could hold 500 to 1,000 people at once. This was a seriously large and deep wave pool. The waves were generated by underwater machines for 20 minutes at a time with 10-minute breaks and could reach a whopping 1 meter high. The comparative calm of the water in break periods contrasted with the severity of those waves in a relatively deep pool that got deeper towards the machine end, meant that patrons would often get sucked much deeper into the pool than they intended.
Oh my goodness,
realizing their mistake when they were in over their depth with nowhere to stand up. Because of the unrestricted entry, the water would often be covered in a dense packed layer of floating rings, which would keep people trapped underwater if they got swept down. The dangerous conditions would often cause people to crowd at the relatively few ladders to escape. 12 lifeguards were on duty permanently, and on high traffic weekends, as many as 30
Y'all over here this happy you ain't doing nothing. Y'all ain't saving nobody in that pool.
Rescued from drowning. For comparison, a regular pool lifeguard will usually make 0 or a single rescue per year. In fact, when a consultant lifeguard arrived to make recommendations to improve safety, he was so overwhelmed by the severity of the conditions, he simply disappeared and never returned.
Oh my goodness!
Out of the hundreds of near drownings, on 3 separate occasions, the wave pool would prove to be fatal. In July of 1982, a 15-year-old boy named George Lopez would drown. 2 years later, 20-year-old Donald DePass, and finally, in July 1987, 18-year-old Gregory Grandchamps. These were not the only deaths at Action Park. The first reported death was in 1980, when 19-year-old George Larson Jr. was riding the Alpine slide after hours. His cart jumped the tracks, and when ejected, George's head struck a rock. He died from his injuries 8 days later in hospital. Then on the 1st of August 1982, only 2 days after the drowning of George Lopez, 27-year-old Jeffrey Nathan was riding in an attraction we actually haven't covered yet called the Kayak Experience, which, despite sounding and being relatively tame compared to some of the other attractions, featured a hidden deadly secret lurking under the water. The Kayak Experience was an artificial whitewater kayak run powered by underwater fans that agitated the water to provide the current. Frequently, kayaks would tip over or get lodged among the concrete rocks, meaning patrons would have to step out of the kayak in order to right it again. When Jeffrey stepped out, his foot touched a grill covering one of those electrified fans. A 19-ampere current passed into his body and caused him to go into cardiac arrest. He later died in a nearby hospital. And finally, sometime during 1984, a man died after suffering cardiac arrest, allegedly caused by the shock of cold water in the pool beneath the Tarzan swing. The water that day was believed to be around 50 degrees. So at this point, let's go a little deeper into how and why Action Park was so dangerous.
Oh, we know why.
And how it managed to continue running for so long. Firstly, many of the staff attendants were teenagers and poorly, if at all, trained. Many were under the influence of alcohol while working, and training was never taken particularly seriously. The former security director, Jim Desai, got the job at age 21. They cared little for enforcing the rules, and considering the attitude of at least quite a few of the patrons...
Can we talk about how many people went to this place, by the way?
That's not entirely surprising. Sometimes physical altercations occurred between visitors or each other and staff. There was often physical disparity in favor of the patrons, and the teenage attendants didn't feel they had the power to discipline adult guests and would struggle to enforce the rules. This was definitely exacerbated by the availability...
They got a skydive! This place had everything! $50 degrees isn't that cold. It's 50 degrees out right now. I fear you know absolutely nothing about temperature or water.
Prevalence of alcohol on site. Beer was...
You go jump into a 50-degree pool and tell me if it's warm, buddy.
everywhere, and the drinking age rules were enforced in a particularly lax
Because I
manner.
promise
The
you, it's gonna be cold.
short distance between many of these kiosks and the rides involving operating motor vehicles with no safety equipment in a bathing suit really set people up for a rough time. It's fair to say that because Action Park was closer and slightly cheaper than the neighbouring Six Flags Great Adventure Park,
that's
many
why.
of the patrons were from lower income communities who had less opportunity to learn how to
That's
swim.
why so many people came, because it was cheaper.
And the fact that the park was advertised heavily to the Spanish and Polish communities nearby, even though that there were no translated instructions, did set the park up for some trouble. There was a fundamental clash between how people viewed Action Park and what it intended itself to be. See, Gene's philosophy was that Action Park existed in a similar way a beach does. If someone swims out at a beach and drowns, it's a tragic accident, but there is more of a perceived onus on the swimmer for going out and making bad decisions.
That's what I say at Gooblagoon a lot. That's what I say at Gooblagoon a lot.
And getting beyond their depth. Dying on a roller coaster, however, does feel somewhat different. You're kind of strapped and there's no skill involved in staying alive on a roller coaster. But it's been suggested that many of the patrons took that roller coaster attitude to Action Park and held
And the
not
people
enough
spamming
regard
the
for
numbers, all they do every time. Every time a batch of them comes in and spams it, they all get packed up. I see it and y'all don't. It's hilarious. Every of the cursed number spammer that gets eliminated from this chat, and every chat is a beautiful thing.
Safety in the face of prevalent dangers because they never expected to need a level of control over the danger to stay safe. People just didn't realize that the wave pool was a genuine threat to life if used incorrectly, and the lifeguards regularly had to rescue people who jumped into the deep end without actually being able to
Nah, don't
swim.
make it 10-minute timeout. Ban them like perma. Y'all cooking with the 10-minute action? No, it's got to be a perma.
And again,
I've
turning
had
to
it.
how the theme park ran for so many years with such a poor safety record, there are actually multiple interesting contributing factors. Because many of the rides were pioneering at the time, often built out of wild imagination as opposed to stringent engineering and testing, it was difficult for the regulatory
By the way,
authorities.
real quick, y'all feel better about the Gooblagoon now? The fact that so many people are still saying no was unreal. Gooblagoon safety isn't even comparable to this. Case, you're being dramatic. Yo, idiot named Leah. I'll perma you too. What you talking about?
Control Action Park's rides. Especially in the early days, if a person survived a test run and nothing visually was falling apart,
Wasn't calling
that
you
was
an idiot, by
considered
the way.
adequately safe.
The
It's
actual
probably not a
username is
huge leap
idiot
to
named
also
Leah.
Say that a special relationship existed between Action Park and the state, as the park was only ever fined once in its operating history. In fact, there's a humorous anecdote that when the local government complained about the high demand for ambulances generated by Action Park, Gene simply bought the local hospital a new fleet of vehicles. Accident and injury reporting was often not done correctly or at all, and in cases where a claimant sought liability
Unreal.
for injury, the park's legal attack dog attorney would viciously fight tooth and nail.
It's like
In
I'm almost completely reliving this. This is unreal.
fact, it became difficult for victims to hire legal representation from the local lawyers purely because they all knew just how hard Action Park would fight every single claim through
I
the
can't
trial.
believe
This is quite
this.
unusual for a business, but this is where we get to the downfall of Action Park. Action Park wasn't forced closed, it actually went bankrupt. GAR simply couldn't contend with paying for everyone who got injured there. As one litigant alleged in the early 1990s, there were over 2,400 active or past litigants who were seeking compensation against GAR. It turned out that the reason Action Park fought so hard to avoid paying was simply because they had no insurance. It's surprisingly a expensive to insure for rides that have a tendency to maim and kill, so Gene came up with a pretty ingenious solution. He just set up his own fake insurance company called London and World and insured Action Park for nominal cost.
No
He then did
shot!
something really crafty and underwrote his fake insurance company with an actual real firm called Dover Insurance, saying to anyone who asked that they would cover any gaps in his own coverage. Dover and nobody else realized that this meant they'd be covering literally any payouts. It was a clever workaround that avoided Gene needing to pay any premiums while still technically operating with some coverage. Not surprisingly, the government were not happy to find this out, but Gene did make the argument he paid out of his own pocket whenever someone got injured. And by February 1996, the constant legal attacks culminated with the creditors who had taken on their $14 million debt petitioning the company to force it into bankruptcy. And a year later, in 1997, they announced the cessation
with the
of
fight,
all
thank you.
operations. What followed was, in short, a changing of hands between multiple owners, modifications, closures, to produce a much tamer version of the original Action Park. Many of the ride's most dangerous attractions were either removed completely, buried, or made significantly tamer. The Action Park that ran for 2 decades was no more. A huge reason why Action Park continued for so long was simply because it was loved by a great many people. In fact, the park often made the argument that although a lot of people were injured and, well, killed sometimes, they did serve millions and millions of customers every year who had a great experience.
I cannot believe how similar this is.
Gene's fundamental ethos was to put people in control of their action, and this unique experiment created great memories for a lot of people. The bumps and injuries were often considered a source of pride and proof that you had survived Action Park. But thanks to Woke, children these days pretty much will never get the chance to experience the sheer joy of entering cardiac arrest halfway down an artificial water chute composed entirely of rebar concrete and exposed wiring. And I think that's a great shame. Action Park is a unique relic of a long-gone pre-health and safety era of history that could never realistically be replicated today. If you enjoyed this video and want to dive
Wait, what did he say? Wait, repeat that again?
Action Park is a unique relic of a long-gone pre-health and safety era of history that could never realistically be replicated today.
Who gonna tell him? Somebody just said it came back. Who gonna tell? Yo, when I looked at that overhead map of this place, bro, the Gooblagoon is like nothing. Bro, how do you got this much money? Look at this. How do you got this much money to do this? How? Dude, the size of the, you know what we got at the Gooblagoon? This us right here. This all we got. It reopened? Wait, is this place still open, but it's different? It's different. That's actually hilarious that he said it could not be replicated. Bro said it could not be replicated, and then here we go. Hey, what was this? This from a year ago. That was a good, W video. That was a good documentary right there. I'm not going to lie.